It's Ash from Super Videos back for another live Q&A for an episode of Fear the Walking Dead. This is our Q&A for Season 6, Episode 8 of Fear the Walking Dead, which was called The Door. Now, usually we have Friday night streams, but this time I thought we'll do things a little different and I'll do a stream right after the episode. In this case, it was Fear the Walking Dead, but I've been wanting to do like a stream right after an episode for a long time just to see how it goes, but this time it happened to be Fear the Walking Dead and a pretty big Fear the Walking Dead episode at that. But as always, let me actually fix this chat real quick. It's not supposed to be this small. There we go. As always, let me know if there's any issues with the stream, any lag, anything like that. And with that, we'll give people a few minutes to join here. The episode is right about ending at this point, so I'm sure people are gonna be flooding in, or hopefully they'll be coming in after that. There's one person watching right now. We'll see how many people we can get, but this was obviously a pretty big episode, and I already did my kind of discussion / review of this episode and specifically the big moment in this episode. But before I even talk about that, obviously spoiler alert for those of you who have not watched the episode, because it will obviously spoil it for you. We're going to talk about what happens. But for those of you who have watched it, obviously there was a big moment in this episode which we're going to talk about. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions coming in from this particular moment, which was obviously John Dory's death. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions coming in for that. Cars Racing Expert says, hi, how are you? Glad you could join. And just like I have on the thumbnail of this video, was it a huge mistake? Like what happened in this episode? And like I said in my video, I absolutely think it could be, depending on where they go with this and what they do next. But yeah, I'm definitely very interested to know everyone's thoughts, opinions on this particular episode. I'm sure someone might bring something up that might get me to start ranting here, but not gonna rant quite yet. I'll wait to get everyone's opinions and thoughts first. Cars Racing Expert, losing John was a surprise. I absolutely agree. Here's the thing. The issue with it is not that it was a shocking, surprising death. It's how it came about, how it happened, and the fact that it seems like it's recycled material from season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead. But I mean, again, it all depends where they go with it and what they do next. I mean, at this point, it could go either way. It's 50-50. I could definitely see them doing something extremely awesome from here on out and have this particular moment or this particular death be a huge moment in, or a pivotal moment in the story going forward. But I could also see them falling back on their safe, I would say, routine and doing the same thing over again. Something that, in my opinion, didn't even work when they did it the first time. And obviously I'm referring to the Charlie Nick thing, which obviously this seems to be like a different version of that. I was surprised though, because I read some comments and stuff on my other videos, and there were actually people who did like what they did in this episode. Aside from the death itself, they liked what they did in this episode, and I disagree with that. I don't think that this episode had anything to offer other than that huge moment. But I saw a lot of comments with people actually saying that they liked this episode, or like this episode aside from the death and what happened with that. So that was a shocker to me, to be honest. I thought people are gonna straight on hate this episode, but looks like we're getting a lot of split in the fandom in terms of people actually enjoying it and people who are actually furious with what they did. I don't see any more comments coming in, so I'm just gonna check to make sure everything's good on my end. Yeah, everything seems okay. One question I have for people who are watching: would everyone still have felt the same thing? And I'm talking about people who were furious about what they did in this episode. Would you still feel the same way if they did the same thing, but had John go in a different way? Like the same thing, I mean, like the end result would have been the same, but if he was killed off a different way, would fans still have had a problem with it? I honestly, it would obviously depend what that other thing they do is, but I think anything other than what they did would have been better in my opinion, like a better death. I feel like John deserved a much more fitting death, and obviously, or not obviously, but the thing that makes it even worse is that John's been shot multiple times in Fear the Walking Dead. So it was kind of like not even a unique way to kill him off or unique way to have him be hurt. So yeah, Cars Racing Expert, this episode was gonna be the end of the first half, but the pandemic happened. Yeah, absolutely. I heard somewhere that they wanted no breaks in between. Like originally, their original thought was 16 episodes back to back to back. I don't know if that is accurate. It doesn't seem feasible, so I don't think it's accurate. But yeah, this was supposed to be the mid-season finale, but everything was shifted back, and they had to do this as a mid-season premiere now. It honestly, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. This wasn't the best episode as a mid-season premiere or a mid-season finale, and I'm just taking the shocker out of it. Like outside of that shocker, this episode didn't have too much to offer. The only thing it had was that huge, the huge moment that happened with John's death. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this episode was great or even good as a mid-season premiere or a mid-season finale. And the other thing about this episode, here's the thing. There's really three pieces to the big reveal. One is that it was Dakota that killed the Ranger, which led to Janice's death. The second layer of it was obviously John finding out about it and Dakota wanting to save her ass and killing him. And the third layer of it was the reveal that Dakota, in the very first episode in season 6, was the one that saved Morgan. Or we didn't see it, but we heard about it in the first episode of season 6. So the third reveal was that it was Dakota that saved Morgan. Now, the first piece of it, with Dakota being the one that killed the Ranger, it makes sense. I mean, pieces of the puzzle fit. It makes a lot of sense and it works. The second layer with Dakota killing John, it was just, it didn't make any sense. Like, I mean, the only way to explain it is that she's a psychopath. That's the only way to explain it. There's no reasoning, there's no logic behind what Dakota did right then and there. The third layer to it, though, Morgan learning that Dakota was the one that saved him, I think was forced. It was just a moment that I feel, or it felt to me, that they just threw in their last minute without any build up, without any proper setup or anything like that, and it felt out of the blue, and it definitely feels like if that was in fact what they were planning to do at the very beginning, they would have obviously put a lot more subtle but actual clues or Easter eggs or things like that that helps the audience kind of put the pieces together. This definitely felt like it was last minute. Like, okay, we're gonna have Dakota do this. We can actually connect the dots and say that she was the one that saved Morgan, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel. Let's just say there was a lot of plot holes there. There was a lot of different things that needed to come together for that to really make sense, and they don't make sense. They don't come together if we go back and think about it and watch the episodes prior. Cars Racing Expert, how many seasons do you think this show will have? Well, season 7 is green lit, so we know that there's going to be a season 7. I don't necessarily know whether they're going to be able to pull off a season 8, especially with where we are now. Like after season 6, maybe into season 7, if things are looking up, then I would assume they might want to go on further. But at this point, I think they have themselves in a bit of a pickle right now. They're in a corner, so it's gonna be interesting to see whether they can survive this. Obviously, it's the same situation that happened with Madison, Nick, and all of the other huge deaths that we've had that didn't really make sense. And you could say they've survived it, but the quality just went downhill like real fast. So hopefully, if that doesn't happen, and if they pulled themselves up after this, then I could see them doing like another maybe season after season 8 or season 7. But if the quality goes down just like the quality went down with when Madison and Nick left, then it's going to go down real quick. And I think before season 7 ends, we might get a confirmation that season 7 is the final season, something like that. So yeah. Cars Racing Expert, they should put some whispers in this show. I don't think they will. Would it make sense for them to do that? No, because it's in a different spot. Whispers were not in Texas. They were in a different part of the country. So it doesn't necessarily make sense for Whispers to actually show up. But if you mean villains like the Whispers, not like exactly the same, doing the same thing, but villains as exciting or as interesting as the Whisperers, then I agree. They need that. They haven't had good villains on Fear for a long time. So I definitely think they need some good villains on Fear. I will wait for more questions here. Cars Racing Expert has been holding it down with the questions, but hopefully some more people will ask questions here and we can get into like a conversation here. Depending on how this stream ends and how much engagement we have, we might move our Friday night streams to streams like this that happen like right after the episodes. So we go live right after each episode. Depends though. If there isn't a lot of engagement, then we might just stick with what we've been doing with the Friday night streams. So, we won't change it. But if people are interested more in like a I would say on the spot discussion after the episodes each time, we might definitely switch it up a little bit to see how it goes. Twitch GHY, what's up? How are you? Glad you could join. Mr. Dirtbag, rest in peace, John. Yeah, absolutely. We lost a big one today or tonight. Will they be able to recover? Only time will tell. But I have my doubts. Twitch GHY, yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, Dakota has now become Charlie 2.0 for us, right? Hopefully they will do something very different with Dakota, something that they should have done with Charlie. Mr. Dirtbag, it sucks, man. He was my favorite. Yeah, absolutely. And at this point, I would say he was probably my favorite as well, next to Alicia. Like Alicia and John and Danny Salazar, those three. I'm not gonna talk about Morgan because I think they ruined Morgan's character when they switched him over to Fear. So that's that. He was one of my favorites in the original, but when they moved him over to Fear, his character just went into the dirt. No pun intended, because of your name. But anyway, but yeah, he was definitely my favorite alongside Danny and Alicia. It sucks because they haven't done anything with Alicia or Danny Salazar. So it's like, do we have anything to look forward to really? Because they kill off characters that we like. They could use them more, but they don't. Like with John, they could have done so much with John and they wasted it. They haven't done much with John that actually we wanted to see, like fans wanted to see. So yeah, he was definitely my favorite. But the problem with Fear, they kill off characters that we care about. They introduce new characters that we care about, but they kill those characters. And they keep characters that we don't care about. Like, that's the main problem. They keep characters that we have no attachment to, that we don't care about. Or most fans, majority of fans. Or they underutilize characters so much to a point where they're useless. Like Luciana, what's she done? What's her part in the story? With Strand, he keeps switching. It's like, it's getting repetitive. And it's just, we're losing the interest in the character in a way. Danny Salazar, what have they done with him last 2-3 seasons? Wendell, Sarah, there are characters that are background characters at this point. That they could kill them off in a great way, in an impactful way to move the story forward, but they don't do that. For example, now they brought Sherry over with Dwight. So, is it going to be a situation where they're going to kill them off as well at some point? You know what I mean? So it's like we're losing all of these great characters, and they're not giving us characters that we want to see, that we feel attached to. If we are attached to them, they just kill them off. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a slippery slope. Like, it's good to have shockers and kill big characters, but it also, on the flip side, you have to keep the story going. You have to give us interesting characters. If you just kill off your main characters or interesting characters, where is that going to lead? Like, when does it stop? You know what I mean? Mr. Dirtbag, I love this Western look, man. Here's the thing. I did like that, but we've had like 2 seasons of that already. So it's like, can we switch it up a little bit? It's getting repetitive. Like, I love the Western style that they came up with back in season 5, I would say, ever since season 5 with John Dory's entrance. But it feels like it's been going way too long and it's getting repetitive. So a change in the atmosphere, a change in the setting, a change in the way that it looks would definitely help switch things up, I think. So as much as I love the Western look, it is getting a little repetitive to me. Cars Racing Expert, do you think Victor is pretending to be on Virginia's side? That could go both ways. I think, here's the thing. Strand is never on anyone's side. He's on his own side. So whenever it benefits him more to switch, he will switch. That's what it feels at this point. Strand has lost his touch in a way. Like, it feels like he's not loyal to anyone. So who would fall in love with a character like that? Who would be attached to a character like that? And it seems like they've done that with the Strand character, and they've been doing that with him for a long time. And again, there's the repetitive aspect of it. But at the same time, why do we need to be attached? Why should we be attached to a character like that? That, you know, throws his friends and family under the bus and doesn't care, doesn't give a damn, you know. So yeah, that's where I stand with Strand. Mr. Dirtbag Dakota had no reason to shoot him. Yeah, absolutely not. Like, at least with the Charlie situation, there was a little bit of a motivation. With Dakota, there's like a little bit, you could say, but it's just, the only way to explain it is she's nuts. She's a psychopath. She's got some screws loose. That's the only way you could explain that. Twitch GHY. Morgan calling for more firepower could mean he just said screw it and killed her, and now he knows Jenny is going to be mad and it's about to go down. I would have kind of thought the same thing, but I've seen some teasers with Dakota with the survivors. Unless that's a flashback, that means that she's not dead, and she's gonna be with the group like nothing happened, which makes it more like this is a Charlie Nick situation. But yeah, that would have been great, but it doesn't look like that's what we're gonna get. Most likely Dakota is still alive. She'll go back to the group with Morgan. So yeah. Cars Racing Expert, I used to think Nick was the protagonist. Well, it started off with Madison being the protagonist. Then, you know, it was Madison and Nick and Alicia and Travis, like the family. But now, they killed off the family one by one. The only person remaining is Alicia, but they haven't done anything with Alicia. She was painting trees last season. Or was it the season before that? So yeah, like they've wasted the character and they're just not doing anything with her. Mr. Dirtbag, what's up with Strand? Did he really switch up, or is he doing damage from the inside? Again, it could be both, but it definitely feels like Strand is on his own team. He doesn't have a loyalty to anyone. I mean, if he was putting on a front, if it was an act, would he really be up, or like lining the group up, which is going to happen in the next episode? Would Strand just sit there and do nothing? I don't know about that. And, you know, with the John situation, if he finds out what Dakota did, is he not just going to be like, screw it, screw all of you, this is my family, this is my friends? It doesn't look like that's what he's going to be doing. So that speaks a lot, I think, about what his intentions and his motivation is. Mr. Dirtbag, I really love the Western style. Maybe it's because I love Western movies. Or I really love Western movies. Yeah, I mean, I do like it. But at what point does it become, okay, let's switch it up. Let's see something new. You know what I mean? Mr. Dirtbag, they wouldn't kill off Dakota. Yeah, it doesn't look like they will. At least not in season 6. Mr. Dirtbag, damn, I forgot about Travis. Yeah, like, it was a chain you could say, chain reaction, or a chain of events. First it was Madison. Oh wait, no, Travis. First it was Travis, then it was Madison, and then it was Nick. And now it's John. Remind me, how many small character deaths have we seen? Other than them. Like, I mean, deaths in general, but small deaths. It seems like they're not killing off anyone. But when they do, they just kill off major characters. That's what it feels like. Twitch GHY, it's annoying. They could have done so much with Morgan's note, but they had to make Dakota do it. That's lame. It could have been anyone Not even Madison's strand is good. He's doing damage from the inside. Yeah, I do agree that they could have done so much with that story with Morgan and the person that saved him. No, none of that. They didn't do that. They could have made it be Sherry. That would have been interesting. It would have had some plot holes on its own, but it would have been interesting. They could have had it be Madison. That would have been like, again, with some plot holes, that would have been very interesting. But that didn't happen. They could have had it be Isabel from CRM. That didn't happen. You know, there was a lot of avenues they could go. All of them with some plot holes, but it would have made it a little more interesting. But they just went with the most underwhelming, stupid, way. Twitch GHY June will end. June will hopefully kill Dakota. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I think if they have it so that June kills her, it would maybe sort of make up for what they did, but at the same time, it's expected. It's like, if we're expecting it, then, how is that satisfying? The other way I could see them going, and I think that would make it more interesting, is Ginny gets to a point where she feels that she should stop Dakota because she could do just about anything. She could kill just about anyone. So to put things in control, she could imprison her or something like that. Or maybe even a more extreme case, she could kill her. So, those are different directions that they could go with it. But again, it doesn't seem like that's where they're going with it. Mr. Dirtbag, Travis's son. Yeah, Chris, Travis's son. But that happened before. That I loved. Like, that was a great death. That was a very good death. But that was before Travis's death. That was before season 4. Or was it? No. Wait, did Travis die in season 4? No, Travis died in season 3. If I remember right. Yeah. But that happened before. Chris's death happened before Travis's death. Leighton Isaac. I hope I'm pronouncing your first name right. Let me know if I'm not. But you said hi. Hi, how are you? Glad you could join the stream. We're seeing a lot of new people on the stream tonight, which is great. If you're not a subscriber and if you enjoy the things that we talk about and the content, make sure to go and subscribe to the channel to become not a member. I wanted to say a member, but there's like a specific thing for member on YouTube. But subscribe to join our community, I call it. And again, depending on the interest and the engagement, we might switch the regular schedule that we have, because we usually have a stream Friday nights before, like a few days before the actual episodes air. But if there's more interest in this style where we do it right after the episode, we might switch it up a little bit and do that instead. Okay, give me 1 sec. I will be right back. There's a few things with the camera. There's some errors. Let me see what's going on with it. Alright, we are back. It was just out of battery, but it gave a weird error, so yeah. But we're back now. Cars Racing Expert, the writers kind of tease that Madison is alive. Yeah, I've done a video on that with the walker in the tree or on the tied to the tree. That could be symbolism for her return, definitely. At this point, it's likely, I would say, but we'll have to wait and see. If anything, maybe the final scene of this season, they might bring her back. I don't think she'll have a big part in season 6, but they might bring her back right at the end and have her be part of the story in season 7. Mr. Dirtbag, I don't believe Madison is alive, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, I don't think she's alive either, but there is a small part of me that feels that the door is left open to bring her back, and there is rumors of her returning, so they could kind of bring her back. Not that it would make sense where with what happened, like there's no way she would have survived, but they didn't show it, so obviously there's a chance that they could bring her back. Twitch GHY, the first half of season 6 was 9 out of 10, but hopefully this one is good. The first episode was like 3 out of 10. Yeah, I agree with you that the first half was good, especially looking at season 4 and 5, like with those standards. I wouldn't give it a 9 out of 10 though. I think like maybe 8 out of 10 is more reasonable. As far as this episode goes, I think you said 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10, that's a little generous, I think. Maybe I would give it maybe a 2 out of 10, honestly. Mr. Dirtbag, I'm not one of those who wants her back. Me neither. I think it would be cool, but I've talked about this before, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong with her return. So that's that. But at the same time, with what they just did, maybe the solution is to bring back Madison to fill the gap, the void, you know? Mr. Dirtbag, I think after is better so we can talk about this or the episode. Yeah, I think we might give it a shot. Like there's a good amount of engagement tonight, which is great. So we're gonna continue next week probably. So we'll put the streams right after the episode. But the thing is, when we do our Friday night streams, we usually go on like an hour, or an hour and a half sometimes. With the Sunday night streams, we will definitely not be able to do long streams. Sometimes we have to do even shorter than like 30 minutes, but you know, sometimes we can do it. So it might get to a point where we have short streams, but we still have streams like after the episode. So it's gonna have to be a balance. So we're gonna find out which is the right approach. But for now, I'm gonna try to do one after each episode to see where we go from there. Twitch GHY, I'm gonna hop on out of here. Peace out. I'll tune in later. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you did, make sure to join us next week as well on the next one after the season 6 episode 9 of Fear the Walking Dead. Looks like that's gonna be a pretty big episode as well, because we have like a lineup scene just like The Walking Dead, so I'm assuming there's going to be some big things going down. I don't think anyone's going to die, especially now that this happened, but there might be some interesting things in that episode that we might want to talk about. So stay make sure to join us next week as well. Happy End says hi. Hi, how are you? Glad you could join. We've been going for like maybe 40 some minutes, So we'll go for another 10-15 minutes of stream and we will end the stream. Happy and I find your videos really interesting. Thank you very much. I'm happy that you find it interesting. That's what it's all about, right? Entertaining the audience. Mr. Dirtbag, you think Gabriel is going to die? They teased the water tower. Here's the thing. With the water tower, I think it was just a Easter egg. I don't think they're going to do anything with that water tower. Do I think that Gabe is going to die in season 11? There's a chance. Like I would say there's maybe a 50% chance, but I don't think that water tower is an indication of him dying. I think the water tower was just a cool Easter egg for comic readers. That was it. I did a video already on that discussion and why I think that. So if you want more of my thoughts about that, there's a video that you can check out. Let me see what the title was. I'm sure I put water tower in the title somewhere, but let me double check. Looks like I didn't put water tower in the title. Okay, so this is the title I put. Gabriel, comic death clue or Easter egg, 1019. So you'll be able to find it. This is the thumbnail right here. Not sure if you can see it. That's the thumbnail. So that was like a long video, so you can go check it out, like that discussion if you're interested. Mr. Dirtbag, I can feel his death coming, to be honest. Like I said, in season 11, there's a chance that they could kill some of the big characters, but I don't think the water tower is an indication again, you know? So we'll have to see what they do with Gabe in season 11. Mr. Dirtbag, he changed so much. Absolutely right. I completely agree. He's had one of the bigger character arcs in the show. The others who have had pretty great character arcs are Negan himself, Carol, definitely. Gabe is one of them as well. Mr. Dirtbag, he murdered that guy. Yeah, he did. Maze, yeah, he killed Maze. Happy End, do you think that season 11 we will finally see a real moment where CRM will finally be in the scene with the principal passengers? Oh, wait, with the principal personages. I don't know what you mean by that last bit, but whether we're going to see CRM in season 11, it's a tough one. I mean, they could do it, but it could complicate the story in terms of what's going to happen in the movies, how is it going to tie into the movies, and all of that. There's a chance for them to do it. It's just a matter of whether it's going to work timeline-wise and whether everything is going to be able to fall in place for something like that to happen. Mr. Dirtbag, yeah, Negan is my favorite right now. Yeah, on the original Walking Dead, Negan definitely up there with Daryl and Aaron. I think I named my top 5 or something last stream, I think. But yeah, Negan is definitely up there. Gabe is up there as well. Gabe, Aaron. Happy End, I hope Madison would be alive. I'm 50-50 on it, like I said. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that it could be good, but there's a part of me that feels like it might not go so well. So I'm 50-50 on it. I'm a little salty still with what we just saw in the last episode, so I'm not really too I was gonna say engaged, but that's not the right word I want to use. I'm not really feeling fear at this point. Season 6 started off great, but this episode, I think it went downhill real fast. Mr. Dirtbag, what about Nick? Or wait, Rick? Do you think they would say something? What do you mean? Are they gonna say something? Do you mean are they gonna bring him back in season 11? I think they I think there's a very good chance that he might come back, but it would have to be during the final episodes, and it would have to be out of the main storyline. So either a flashback, a hallucination, an after credit scene, something that's not on the main storyline for season 11. Because again, it just can't work. Like, things don't fall in place timeline wise. Mr. Dirtbag, why does everyone want Madison? Because Madison is the Rick of fear. That's why. Why do we still want Rick back? It's the same thing. Mr. Dirtbag, I feel like it wouldn't make sense if she came back. I agree with you to an extent. I absolutely agree. Would it be good for the show, at least short term? Maybe. I think it might be. Happy End Madison is a great character in my opinion. Yes, she was. Well, I wasn't a fan first couple of seasons, but you know, she grew on me in season 2 and 3 specifically. Happy End, I hope that she got saved from CRM or something like that. With the CRM thing, I don't think so. I think that's just a little too convenient and repetitive because they did it with Rick. But I think there's a chance she might have been saved by someone. Happy End, do you think that Alex will return in somehow? Who was Alex? Was she the airplane girl? No, I think she's gone. Leighton, Isaac, do you know when Rec Movies is coming out? I know they're gonna start filming in the summer, the next couple months, but I don't know when it's gonna come out. But I've talked about this before. Logistically, if you put everything together, shooting, post production, and all of that, probably end of 2021, we might get at least a trailer. Mr. Dirtbag, I really didn't like Madison, not gonna lie. I didn't like her to begin with, like at the beginning, but she grew on me, like the character grew on me for sure. 5 more minutes of rapid fire Q&A. I call it, like the last few minutes, I call it rapid fire Q&A because it's going to be quick questions and quick responses. So no in-depth questions, just quick questions and responses for the last 5 minutes. And then we'll end the stream. It's been a great stream. Hopefully we'll see everyone again next week as well after the next episode. Mr. Dirtbag, she didn't give me Madison vibes. Not sure what you mean by that. Or Rick vibes. Oh, you mean Madison didn't give you Rick vibes? I agree it's not the same, but it's like a comparison. Like, Rick to Walking Dead is what Madison is to Fear the Walking Dead. Not that Madison is at his level, at Rick's level, but it's comparable in a way. Happy End, yes, it's the girl from the airplane. Yeah, I don't think they'll bring her back. I think she's dead. Mr. Dirtbag, well, I gotta go, man. I turned on notification. I'll definitely be here again. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed your or enjoyed this stream, I mean, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. And I hope that you became a subscriber as well. If you did, welcome to the channel. So yeah, another maybe 3 minutes of rapid fire Q&A here. Trapped Within the System, episode 13 is titled JD. Is it? What could that be? JD. Trapped Within the System, the fandom has all these synopses for the rest of the episodes. I'm sure it does. That comes out early, right? Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm just trying to think. What does JD stand for? What could that be in reference to? I don't even know. I don't even want to make a guess. Happy End, I'm already subscribed. That's great. Thank you very much. I hope you are enjoying your subscription. And I hope you turned on or you have notifications on, because then you'll know every video that we post, and obviously when there's a stream you'll know about it right away. Trapped Within the System says June goes a separate way. I hope it's because she killed Dakota. Trapped Within the System, John Dory. Oh, JD. Yeah, that could be. That could be. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but yeah, definitely. Happy End, I enjoyed the videos. I'm glad to hear. Trapped Within the System or June Dory. Could be June Dory, you're right. It could also be Fear Just Died. Obviously I'm joking, and there's no F in the beginning of that. Just trying to be funny here. Trying to lighten up the mood. Alright, so that's pretty much the end of the stream. I hope everyone enjoyed this stream. Hopefully I'll catch all of you in the next one. For those of you that weren't here earlier, I've decided that we will change our stream schedule a little bit. Instead of the Friday night streams that we will have Sunday night streams, and it's gonna go, we're gonna go live right after each episode ends. And that is for all 4 episodes in season 6 right now. I don't know about World Beyond. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to continue with that. We might do Friday night streams again when World Beyond starts. But for season 11 of The Walking Dead, we'll definitely try to stick to the Sunday night streams. But obviously I'm going to let everyone know ahead of time, in advance. A great spot for you to get information like that is the community section of the channel, because I post a lot of details about, you know, the schedule and what we're going to be doing in there. So that's a great spot for you to know what's going to happen in the channel. Also, Twitter is a great spot. I do post a little bit of information there with regards to uploads. Obviously every video I post I put on Twitter, so you can go check it out there. Alright, thanks everyone. I'm just going to read the last few comments and questions. I'm not going to answer any more questions, just quickly read them and then we'll end the stream. Trapped Within the System, JD, what initials mean? Yeah, we covered that. It could be June Dory or John Dory. Happy End. I really hope that Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead somehow could have a better connection. I do agree with you on that. I hope that there's a bit more connection in season 11 because it's the final season. I hope one person from Fear at least crosses over to The Walking Dead. Like, if they're gonna kill a character off, in fear, let's not do that. Let's cross him over, or him or her, to The Walking Dead and end it there. That would be awesome. Lucas Vegas with a lot of rest in peace Johns, and yes, I agree. Trapped in the System, have a great night, or have a good night. Have a great night, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed.